I think East Lansing needs to, as a city, whether it's staff or city council, needs to clarify to citizens what's the vision they have for the downtown, for neighborhoods, for parks, for traffic, for parking, because I think some citizens aren't sure what those who are making decisions are envisioning. Where do they see that going? And this needs to be two ways. It needs to be citizens feeling like they have input as well as the other direction, the city staff or the city council telling people what they think. So both ways. And it got more interesting or complicated because you have residents, people like myself, as well as people who are paying taxes now because they work for MSU but don't live in East Lansing. And so that makes it all more interesting, more complicated. So as I assume maybe others talked about, and certainly I would assume the incumbents talked about, we had a failed tax proposal a few years ago. And I was among those who really encouraged city council and the city staff. You ought to go back to citizens. I think you just didn't explain it well enough. And if you explained it more clearly, I bet you it'll pass. And so they did. They held community forums. I went to several of these meetings where they asked citizens, and I don't know how many students came, but certainly long-term residents and others came to these meetings and said, here's what I think about these issues. And I feel like it's not clear that the current city council and staff are explaining to people about why building heights at 12 or 14 floors is okay when there had been studies and discussion that were 6 to 8. The amount of density downtown. Is there really a need for this much student housing in a county-wide looking at it? I mean, maybe there is, and maybe they've studied it, but I don't, as a regular citizen, I don't know that. And it just seems like if you build all this East Lansing and Bath Township and Meridian Township and the city of Lansing, all put that much housing in, is somebody going to end up with empty buildings, and it's going to be a disaster when we hit a recession. So I would like to see the city council and the city staff do some forums like they did on taxes about those issues, about these current issues, because I think it would be helpful. So I think some of my skills in terms of grievance offering and labor and human resources, where we would hold forums, strategic planning, and the city did a great job on the second round on taxes, need to go on in these issues too. So I'm just suggesting that I think some of my skills, listening skills, creative thinking skills, could be helpful.